All right, all right, all right. I've got something special for you guys lined up today for our co-founder training. It is the end of February. It's February 27th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. And so end of the month, starting a new month on Monday, we'll be in the new month of March. So our next call. So I'm going to open up the chat here. We're going to use the chat today, guys. And I'm going to put in a note here. Okay. Let me just copy. I've got it written here already. Copy that. Now put it in the chat. Okay. And I'll read it to you now. We are doing something special today in our co-founder training. So we will not have time for a Q&A today. Hold your unrelated questions for the Monday Zoom call. Okay, let's do something different today. Let's have a little fun. For me, guys, it's Friday. Okay, so you guys are still, you're finishing up the tail end of your Thursday over there in the West, U.S. and Canada, but over here in the Philippines, same thing's true for Scott and Carrie, who's in
Yep.
Thailand, and I believe Sherry, you're in Australia, right? If I'm not mistaken. So
Yes, my Friday morning.
we are enjoying Friday, so it is the 28th for us. So it's the end of February. And then of course we got people in the middle like Prakash, who happens to be in Europe, so I believe UK. So um anyway, we got people all over the place. Well, we got Steve also in Japan, so he's on this side of the world. So we're all over the place here. Anyway, something special lined up today. So today is not going to be a day for questions. So, please back me up when someone pops it in, and maybe they joined us after I made the announcement and they start asking questions. I'm going to say, well, we're not doing that today. We can come back on Monday and do that. All right. So that being said, I'm gonna tell you that one way to look at life is through the lens of the movie, right? Each of you are the main character in your movie. And so I'm going to share my screen. Get some of the stuff out of the way here. So a question to you guys, and we're going to use the chat today. I want you just to take a brief moment right now and ask yourself right now, what kind of movie are you right now? Okay. Now, this is kind of a short list of the kinds of movies that are on here. Um, you know, I don't see musical. I see music here, but there's you maybe you're a musical. I kind of consider I'm currently in a reality show. Well, it's I kind of look at my the way I'm kind of running my life at this time. I'm currently this is a reality show, and I'm so exposed. I'm so out there, and people are kind of see what's going on. I'm providing a lot of transparency, if you will. So I'm kind of in a reality show right now. Probably before this, my movie was probably something like a rags to riches, business success story, kind of a movie. So what I want you guys to do is use the chat right now and just put what kind of movie are you in right now? Just there's no wrong answer. The best answer is the one closest to the truth. So whatever you think that is, what do you feel comfortable sharing, of course. But what kind of movie are you in right now? What kind of life are you in? Are you maybe you're a French foreign type movie, or you're a Filipino tragic comedy. What kind of movie are you in right now? What your life right now? What is your movie all about? Okay.
Ace, I'm just curious whether you're doing this because the Oscars is Sunday night.
No, but that's great to mention that it's that soon. But this is where the inspiration has led me today. And so I'm going with the inspiration. I'm being just following my guides, if you will.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So they said, do this. And I said, okay, we'll have fun with that. When I was clued in onto doing this, I got real excited about it. You can tell the passion in my voice that, hey, we are all the main character in our own movie. And I'm just curious what you guys are going to put in the chat as to what kind of movie you're in right now. Different chapters of your life could be different movies. Okay. So, I'm looking forward to the science fiction movie coming up, I think when I start flying my car, I'll say, okay, we're in science fiction now. So I'm looking forward to that happening. I've seen myself in these fantasy movies, where I'm the dragon slayer, but not so much like I'm slaying the dragons that are in the outside world, but more of these dragons are in the inside, fighting my own demons and conquering and becoming fearless, conquering those inner demons, aka dragons, if you will, So yeah, maybe you're in a romantic comedy, right now. Who knows, right? Or a true romance, right? Or a love story. What is your movie? What's going on right now? All right, so I'll stop sharing that. Let's take a look in the chat, and we'll start here. So I appreciate you guys sharing. Okay, all right. Drama, reality, documentary. Okay, thriller. Greg's in a thriller. That's cool. You know, I want to tell you something, guys. I'm going to share an insight here with you before I finish this list. Okay. Do you guys realize that we're the entertainment for the spirit realm? You know, what happens here doesn't happen there, right? So all kind of crazy stuff can happen in this place we call the earth, right? So basically earth is Hollywood, Earth is Hollywood where anything can happen. We can make it up as we go, and we can do all kinds of some crazy stuff that just doesn't happen over there, on the spirit side. But over here in the physical side, yeah, anything can happen, and it can be quite entertaining. So someone says that their movie is a thriller. Yeah, I bet you got an audience then, something like that's bound to draw on an audience, from the spirit realm. All right. Anyway, an adventure, rom-com. Love it, Carrie. Action adventure. Way to go, Bob. Rom-com adventure, Gregory. Awesome. Dramatic comedy. That's cool, Hunter. Action adventure, Rosalie. Reality, Scott. Action adventure, Susan. Adventure, Sherry Anderson. Reality, documentary. Okay. Sci-fi. Very good. Well, you might be in sci-fi, but you write mysteries. Isn't that interesting, Karen? And Dell, a thriller. Okay. All right. So thanks for sharing that. Now, the next question that I want to put out there is the current movie that you're in right now. How do you want that to be? Because after you're done with this movie, you're going to make another movie, right? So after you're done with this movie, it goes on to the next one, right? But in this current movie that you're in right now, however you've labeled that, is this going to be a low budget film or is it going to be a high budget film? And let's face it, guys, the higher the budget, the more interesting it gets, and probably the bigger the audience we're going to get from the other side. Make sense, right, guys? Right? You could throw that pebble into the pond and let it ripple out. Yeah, everybody could do that. But bring an asteroid in, throw that into the pond, you're going to shake the earth, right? So how amazing is your movie going to be? That might actually depend on how high a budget you're working with, right? And that's where pool funding comes in, okay? Because you're each writing your own story. Truth of the matter is, guys, if you kind of look at this from a spiritual perspective, there's like the inner you that's true at all different dimensions. So there's that inner you, and you are not just the actor in your movie, the main character, but you're also the writer, the director, the producer. You're all that. Okay. So, and it's just happening on different levels. But in the physical plane, certainly you're the actor, you know. And um, yeah, it can get very interesting depending on how much you want to spice things up and how much you want to go for. Go for the gusto. You know, yeah. How do I want people to see me? You know, when I ask myself that question, how do I want people to see me? I kind of go like this. I go, I want people to see me like this. That's how I want people to see me. That cool guy, you know, strong masculinity, kind of a little bit macho. You know, that's how I want people to see me, you know. How do people actually see me? Yeah, they're probably going to see something like this, you know. So it's a reality show, you know. So, you know, they're probably going to see something like that, right? Close enough, I suppose. All right. Anyway, so I was sharing my screen, right? You saw that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Anyway, so look, guys, um, it's your life. You get to have as much fun with your life as you choose to make it fun, you know? So I want you guys to realize that, um, you know, even if you're in a drama or you're in some other kind of thing, hey, you know, you can, you know, you're basically take a little bit of ownership in what's actually going on. Okay, take credit for what you're doing here, because technically you are doing it. And trust me, you know, others are, taking note. They're watching. They're, they actually participate in behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? The credits. You get to the end of the movie, and they start showing you the credits. It's not a production of a handful of people, is it? I mean, it's just on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Same thing's true. Same thing is true when it comes to your movie, that there's a long list of people who deserve some credit for their participation, whether it be here in the physical or over there in the spiritual, you know, because it all kind of works together. And I'm telling you guys, I think my movie experience being here in the Earth Hollywood got really interesting once I made my first million. I think I'm drawing a bigger audience now, you know, after the fact. And you can too. You can have that glorious moment where you're a big budget film, okay, doing some crazy stuff, you know, bigger the stunts, you know, all that, you know. I mean, I started pulling back layers I didn't think even existed. I started seeing stuff that was would have seemed like a fantasy to a prior version of myself, you know. And I start to see deeper how things actually are. But I had money to do it, you know. So, what do you guys think about this idea that you're the main character of your own movie? What do you guys think about that? You guys
think
like
we should-
that
That's
idea?
great.
You like the idea?
Yeah, I love
Yes.
that idea.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. All right. So, let's also talk about belief. Okay, because if you really want to know what you're doing here I like to call this the 3D, the physical 3D, level of your existence, of our existence. Uh, we're more like a filter than anything else. Okay. So like you can put something over the lens of a camera, right? And you're gonna see things, in a different shade of color or, you know, whatever. Like the filter can make a difference. over the when you put it over the lens. And actually, what you are is basically the theme at any given time is a filter. Okay, and what is that filter exactly? But a set of beliefs that are kind of like conglomerated, So like each of these tentacles here are individual beliefs, and they just called kind of meshed together. And that's you now. That's you. But as you dig into these beliefs, you start to identify things like this particular belief here. That might be the thing that's holding you back right now. What you really, really want right now, and this is what's in the way. Okay. You get rid of this thing, it's gone, and no longer it's not blocking you anymore. Now you get what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's what you want because you've removed self-limiting beliefs. You alter them. So live, right? One way to look at it is, let me share my screen. Because there's this guy, he had a good idea. Okay. He put it into words and it's always resonated. This guy here, who is this guy that said this? Huh? Who is that guy? Oh, Gandhi. Okay. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Believe. You are a projector blasting out through a lens or a filter, an aspect, okay, of reality. Call it a comedy, call it a drama, call it an adventure, a thriller, whatever. Okay. But you are that filter. That's why you're the main character of your movie. You can change filters. Okay. You don't always have to be in the action adventure movies. You can switch over and be a part of a comedy if you want to, or kick over and go into a drama for, whatever, There's no wrong answer when it comes to you choosing what you want. But the question is, again, is it going to be a low budget movie or
No way.
a big budget movie? Okay. Right? Because if it's a big budget movie, you're probably going to get a bigger audience. Can we agree on that, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yes,
trust
sir.
me, what we do here lives on forever. You're the record you write, it's written, and then it's out there forever after that. Okay. And yeah, for what it's worth. So that's my thinking today. I just want you guys to look at your life, take a close look at your beliefs, and ask yourself what you're willing to do in order to really get what you want. But if you don't know what you want, you got to start there first. Okay. If you haven't figured that out yet, if you're still just kind of, living your life on the wherever the wind blows you next, if that's where you're at in your life, well, in a sense, it's its own kind of movie. We're all going to be playing a role here, no matter what, right? But is it satisfying? Well, we could probably debate that, right? But on the other hand, I just know from my experience how satisfying it is to grab a hold of that steering wheel, and actually steer my own life. Right? It's not about control as much as it is having my hands on the steering wheel. Okay. Because You can have your hands on the steering wheel, but it doesn't mean you're totally in control. It just means that you got your hands on the steering wheel. Okay. And at least
Mhm.
you're participating, consciously. You're not just behaving in an unconscious way, right? You're not just in a state of reaction all the time, but you're in a point of like choice, choosing, showing some grit, some determination, having some direction, you know. So very satisfying from the 3D ego level, okay? from the from the physical plane. I find it very appealing than just being on some kind of a ride that, hey, when it's over, it's over. So if you get to choose, then you got to ask yourself, what do you want? And if you really don't have a clear answer to that question, for goodness sake, why not? I mean, I'm looking around the group here and we're not young folk here, guys. I think maybe if we're lucky, we might have someone in their 30s among us, but I doubt even that. I'm looking around who's here.
Hunter's 27.
So, by the time some of us have, earned our little gray hairs or whatever, hopefully we figured out what we want by that time. And then we go get it, you know. Um, when you look at the credits of your movie and you look at your spouse, you look at your children, look at, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your immediate family, they kind of care what kind of movie you're doing, they do. So, try to make it so that it's appealing, and that they're interested in being a member of the audience, what you're producing there. Just for, at least you do the best you can for that to happen. Doesn't always work out, but that's okay. At least it's the effort. So then I'm giving you maybe, so I think I'm giving some of you pause for thinking, but I want this to be an exciting topic. I want you guys to get excited about your movie, right? Imagine if I was like I was like a Hollywood producer. Let's say I was considered the number one biggest Hollywood producer in the entire world. And I'm talking to you on Zoom and I'm saying, each one of you get at least $10 million for your movie, right? I'm just going to give that to you. And I might give you more if I really like your script, right? How motivated would you be to writing and making a movie that's worth a $10 budget, right? Think about that. Why not? Because that's really where you're sitting right now. If you're not thinking 10 million, you're thinking too small. You guys should all be the whales of pool funding. All of you. You're here at the right time. So definitely be thinking in terms of, what is that? 9 figures? 7? No, that's 8 figures. 10 would be 10 would be 8 figures. 10 million. If you get really creative, guys, you could be a billionaire. Maybe that's how big you want to go. You see some of these things they put together, these huge budgets, The only person limiting you is you. That's it. No one can stop you if you decide to believe that. if you haven't accepted that as a belief, if you're like, I don't know if I can believe that nothing else can stop me. Yeah, maybe this could stop me, maybe that could stop me. If you're still open to the idea that you're not unstoppable, then you can be stopped by whatever you choose to believe can stop you. This is where conquering those dragons, those demons might come in, become more fearless. Learn from me. It's fun to be fearless. It's fun. And don't worry, it's going to work out. You know, at the end of the day, you're indestructible. Okay. The you, that's you. And I'm not talking about this thing here made out of carbon. The you that's you is indestructible. Okay. Goes on and on. So we came down here for some reason, and we were all meant to play out different things, and I think it might be a couple of different movies that we all came down here to do, you know. So let's at least have some of those with some big budgets from pool funding. Sound good, guys? You guys like that? Like that idea?
Oh
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right. Anybody want to share, what they think their movie's going to turn out? Anybody want to, any creative people here that want to kind of say, yeah, my movie's going to have this and that? Anybody want to go there? Or are we going to a little bit be shy today? Anybody want to share some of their creativity, the future planning?
All I know is my movie's ending with me out in the seas on a yacht.
Wow. Okay. Very
I got
good.
I got a lot of figure out to do with the plot that's in between now and then, but I know how it ends.
Well, let's just jump there for a minute, Greg. I'm glad you're talking about a yacht. That is cool. Okay. Have you ever been on a boat before?
A long time ago, I took a cruise with my parents in Alaska, but it was not your typical ocean liner cruise. It was a boat that held 100 people.
Right, practically a yacht. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's that size. So you get that experience already. Good. Now, if you had a yacht and you had all the money in the world, like you were like, like money is no object, no, not a problem, right? So you could literally take your yacht anywhere. So what are some of the destinations that you'd be taking your yacht around the world?
Well, I've only been to the Caribbean once, but St. John, St. Thomas, St. Croix. I loved it there, so I want to go back there. But I would like to explore, the whole world.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much Antarctica.
Well, there are there are worldwide cruises, and so it's possible to go around the world, right? Even on a cruise ship, but certainly on a yacht, you just there's a pathway to make that happen to go everywhere, you know. But yeah,
My sister did that in college. She did a thing, Semester at Sea, it was called, where she went around the world, different ports.
So what about the in-between time? What do you see yourself doing while you're, like you might be 2 weeks from a destination and from one port to the next, and you're out at sea for 2 weeks. So, you know, how are you going to entertain yourself for 2 weeks? What are you going to do in a situation like that?
Well,
It might
I'm
be
gonna catch up.
who's gonna be with you on the anyway.
Well, yeah, that's part I got to figure out because I'll share my age. I'm 60 years old and I still haven't met my wife.
Okay.
So that's why I put myself in a rom-com adventure.
All right.
Gotta have comedy in the movie. And so that's sort of yet to be determined. But yes, there will be a beautiful person on the inside and out by my side.
All right.
And I'm going to be spending a lot of time exercising because that's sort of my passion.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be spending a lot of time uh, relaxing and catching up on reading, um, watching movies. That's a good question, Ace. I haven't put enough thought into it.
Yeah, so what
I'm
we're,
ready.
we're digging deep into what you want. See, now we know. We know, you know, but so there you go. You're onto something there. But yeah, it sounds like you want to write a romantic movie. You know, there's a so that we know that a future movie coming up is a romantic one, right? Right. So one that there's definitely somebody else there with you, so you're not just on the boat by yourself, you know. But yeah, and then how about that? Yeah, I like that. That's
That's
good.
Well,
awesome.
I'd probably have, you know, some pool funding people in as well.
Yeah, why
Certainly
not?
Lisa and Steve Thompson and anybody else that wants to come.
Oh boy, now we're turning into a party boat now. Okay, got it.
A
I'm
little
there.
bit.
Because usually
Little,
I'm there.
Lisa, she's going to turn it into a tiki bar, you know, if you put her on the boat, you know. So,
you know she is.
all right, good
That
deal.
is an adventure, Greg, because you are looking for a wife. So adventure in the sea. We're looking for a wife.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm here in the Philippines, and there's 7,000 islands in the Philippines. It's not the largest. What's it called, Apocalyptico, or I can't pronounce that word. But it's not the biggest one in the world, but it's pretty big. 7,000 islands, it's a lot. If you had a boat, I don't think there's enough time in a lifetime to get to all the different islands, you know. But you could probably go around the whole thing, you know, in a lifetime. Um, but yeah, that's what's cool about having a boat. You could literally go anywhere in the world because all the seas are kind of interconnected. Well, thank you for sharing a part of your scripts there, Greg, and break a leg, as they say, you know, make it happen, you know. Let's make your all that dream come true.
Will do.
And we'll build an audience for you as we go here. Okay. All right. Anybody else like to share? Rosalie, you piped in there a little bit. You want to tell us a little bit about your adventure, what you'd like it to turn into? Putting her on a spot there. I know.
I'll share.
I love it, Kathleen. Thanks for stepping up. Kathleen from Texas, everyone. Kathleen, share. What is your movie all about? And what,
Actually, in my
with a big budget, what's going to happen in this great movie of yours?
well, with a big budget, I I'm one of those people who are always trying to help someone, and so I would like to open a big, what should we call it? Something like a nonprofit thing, but it's a housing where I can house all the young people who do not have parents or have in some way been put
Wow. So
to the
we're talking
side.
about a humanitarian
Yeah,
doc
I'm a humanitarian
humanitarian
from my heart.
documentary, right? Okay.
Yes, and I want to.
You're the benefactor, what is it called? Uh, oh, there's a word for that. Help me out, guys. When you're a humanitarian, what do they call you? You're such a giver.
Benefactor.
Philanthropist.
That's the word I'm looking for. Scott, for lamp. Say it
Any
again. I stumble over that word.
Philanthropist.
Okay, you didn't stumble at all, but I stumble saying that word.
I do too. That's why I didn't say it.
So
But anyway,
that's what we're talking about. So a documentary about your philanthropy, or see, I even screwed that one up.
yeah,
But yeah,
and
that would
then
be a cool, you know.
yeah, and I would employ because I will have the money from pool funding and other sources, I'm sure, and I will hire the best people with the heart because you can hire people and they're not about anything. You know, they once they get the job, they're totally different. But people who actually care about human beings and care about how they will fare in the world. So I would do that. But at the same time, I will do some traveling, go to other places that I would like to go. And one of my number one spots would be the Mykonos Islands in Greece. One of
Oh,
the places I would like to go.
yeah, Greece. I haven't been there yet. So as a world traveler, that's one spot
Yeah,
I really do want to go. So I'll be
yeah.
with you on
And
that
then,
trip. Okay.
yeah, I love the water. So I would just book a lot of cruises and meet a lot of different people because I am such a person that's quiet and inward. I
Yeah.
think that would even at my age, you can bring out the personality that I have. So
Well, you know,
I
Texas
like
is a
people.
port. I've taken a cruise out of Texas before, so
Yeah,
yeah. I could see you and I
yeah, and
doing that in the future, going on a cruise
yeah,
together, leaving Texas to go out somewhere,
yeah.
grab a
And I'm
bunch of you from the
taking them
South.
out of Florida because I have some people who live on some islands. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would like to do, and just live and like what was the guy that was talking who said he was 60
Well, that's Gregory Jones.
and not
That's me.
married. I understand what I understand what you're saying. So I am, hey, I'm just still, I'm not looking, so I'm just making it happen. Stop looking and it'll happen for you.
That's it.
That's what they told me. So I'm just trying to be the best person that I can be. And so if someone
Well,
see that,
wait a second. Let me just do a little matchmaking. Gregory Jones, let me introduce you to Kathleen Irons. Kathleen Irons, let me introduce you to Greg. Well, hey, anything can happen. You never know.
oh, Greg's a baby. He's a baby. He's young.
So that's like,
Wow.
I say that without telling my age, but anyway, yeah.
Kathleen,
Yeah.
I'm a health coach for a large hospital system, and I just
Okay.
coached a couple this morning who were he was 79 and
Oh
she was
Lord.
77, and
Oh, wow.
they met through church, and they
Mhm.
just got married.
well, there you go. It's all part
Have
of
they
the new
been married
movement called
before?
Drizzle Drizzle. You know, if you ever heard about the new Drizzle Drizzle movement, the woman takes care of the man now, so, you know, woman pays the man's bills for him.
Oh,
Drizzle
really?
Drizzle.
Well then
I
now I
smell
know.
John Bride now. June Bride with Kathleen and Greg.
I know that I know that the good Lord will send me someone who actually can take care of themselves that I don't have to drag around and
Yeah,
you know.
that's very much how most women see it, like that, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no. It's not about a woman thing, but you don't. I mean, come on.
Well, it's yeah, traditional. There's nothing wrong with that
Now, if I
because it's
got with a
traditional is
guy and he,
the main way to go, right?
well, yeah, and if I got with someone and they became ill or whatever, I don't mind taking care of because I take care of people too. So
That's it. You're
you know,
that kind of gal. Love it.
yeah.
Well, you're awesome. Both of you are awesome. Everybody's awesome. So
Have you
Thank
ever
you.
Kathleen, I'm
Uh,
68. Is that old enough?
61 now?
I'm 68.
Is that old enough? Yeah.
hey,
how
Yeah,
often
you were saying
maybe you need to
62
be
is
doing
too
more
young.
fishing inside of pool funding. Maybe you're just being too shy, Kathleen. Maybe
Well, yeah, I thought about that.
you might
Yeah.
have more prospects here than you might realize.
Well, I see a lot of prospects. I see
Pool
a lot
mats
of
me in
them.
the pool mats me in the nurse sense, I suppose.
How's the movie going to turn
I see
out?
prospects, and then I also see a son. Hunter would be my son.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
All right. Speaking of which, he's
He's,
got
he's
his hand up.
That's because he's a great guy.
He's
He's a
got an
great guy.
idea. Bringing me to
all
tears.
right,
It's so
so
funny. All right. So
all right,
tell us about your movie, Hunter.
so a couple high points that come to mind are number one, and anyone who's been here for a while can remember when I was talking about this back during our first Advent meetings, is number one, I would get a lot of people from full funding hands, just from other parts of my life together, and get them all together for a big trip to Vegas. for number one, just to have some fun, relax, and number two, for the all-you-can-eat buffet at the casinos.
Mhm.
Now, let me ask you, A1 here. Do you think you could out-eat me at the buffet? I look forward to seeing you try.
Okay,
So,
well, I'm not
so
gonna
that
take you. I'm not gonna take you up on that challenge because
No,
I
me
don't like having an upset tummy at all. I don't really enjoy that at all. I wouldn't even
And
so
dare
that would
take the
be
challenge.
I can outbid you losing at the gambling machines, that for sure.
There we
So
go.
Las Vegas, nah.
yeah, so that'd be one thing, and your thing would be that or just help more and more people learn more about cryptocurrencies, considering is since where we're going, it's the way of the future. And come to think of it, I'm already sort of doing that right now. So it would be a matter of, hey, more of that, way more of that.
I tell you what, Hunter, I'm going to bring you out to the Philippines at some point. I'm going to take you to the Shangri-La. It's a five-star hotel called the Shangri-La here in Manila, Makati specifically, the one in Makati, and they have a breakfast buffet that makes what they do in Vegas puts it to shame. I mean, you can have sushi for breakfast if that's what you want. It's got international, everything you can imagine, international, all available at breakfast. So yeah, I enjoy the Shangri-La many times, you know. So it's okay, spend $300, $600 a night for a suite and lap up the five-star luxury, and the breakfast is the best part. So
I'm
since
in.
if you're into a big breakfast, we'll get you over here for a buffet that'll make your wildest dreams come true.
Okay,
Right.
new plan. Vegas is out, Philippines is in.
All
New
right.
plan.
Tell you what, there's some great things going on over here. And I love Vegas too, by the way. So I mean my last official residence was in Henderson. So that's my last driver's license happened to be in Nevada before I came over here. Anyway, so we got Brett. Brett, you're going to share. Tell us about your story.
Okay, so like right now, going through some major issues, and what I've just really been focusing on is because it's a drama that I'm creating. It's something that I want to take to heart, and it's when I see people who are suffering and they're going through all the pain and they don't have any support because I've been in the hospital, I've seen people, and it's just sad. So my movie is going to be all about creating a place that's safe for people to come to, that they have, where they don't have to worry about paying for anything. They can just come and they can rest and just be themselves, because that's key. And I'm kind of going through that right myself right now, and I just see that that's something that we need in society. So my movie is going to be about building equity for that whole purpose, to build.
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where that's
That's
and
awesome, Brett. That's
when you're
awesome.
talking, yeah, when you're talking about that, like when you're mentioning that, Kathleen, what I'm
Mhm.
saying, like it's going to be like a 10-room ranch style home with two
Right.
of kitchens, and it's going to be like there's going to be a chef, there's going to be like a nurse and a doctor and all that stuff, so that these people can come there and they can get their blood work done, they can get all that stuff done, because it's 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 imperative that we have places like this so people can come and just rest, because
Very much so. I agree
with
with you.
well, it's just when you don't have any money and all of a sudden you become sick, where do you
Right.
go? You can rely on family to a certain extent, but you need to have places like what I want to create, and that's my movie.
There you go.
It
Sounds like
it's
an inspirational drama, right?
yeah,
Or might be able to pull a few tears out of people, but by the time they get done watching it, like touch them deeply. Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. Love it.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Well, we got to have the storyteller tell her story. Okay, Karen. How are you, Karen?
Well, I'm doing just fine, thank you. But tell you, I've been too busy with pool funding to finish my latest book. So I wish I could finish that story. But something that my husband John and I have talked about for many years, and when we achieve our millions, this is something very near and dear to our hearts, is we would like to build homes for senior citizens where they can have care, they can receive meals, and they aren't charged 5 arms and 5 legs to live there.
Mm,
Make
yeah.
it affordable. Affordable doesn't have to be, I don't know. It's just crazy what's going on with seniors' homes these days, and I'm sure it's happening elsewhere as well.
Yeah. Well,
But when people reach
imagine
the
creating like
twilight
your
of their
own
years,
little town. It could be a whole town where it actually is self-sustaining, right? And
yes,
it's got everything, and it's all reasonable. In the distance between things is reasonable,
yes.
yeah, you know, why not go
And where
big?
younger seniors can help take care of older seniors and take them to appointments and that type of thing. And as the older seniors move on to greener pastures, younger seniors would move into the situation. And you're right, make it a community that's sustainable but affordable. And they have the
Mm.
proper care that they need, whether they have Alzheimer's or cancer or diabetics, whatever, they can have proper care that they can afford
I
and
want
maintain their.
I want to get tickets to that.
I'll let you know, Brett.
Okay.
This is great.
You'll have to come
So,
to Ontario for it, though.
I will be there.
Okay.
certainly be a superhero putting something like that together and really cherished, yeah, for sure. Yeah, see, this community draws in people who've got heart, like, Kathleen and Brad and Karen with their inspirational stories, and what they want to do is to serve humanity. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. I can
And
totally
and
relate to that.
I'm just going to interject here, Ace. And I have a big heart as well. So
Yeah, for sure.
Karen and Kathleen and Brett have made me, rethink about my life story. I don't know what it is yet,
You could
but I'm
still
going to
be on that.
rethink it.
You could still be on that yacht and be their biggest donors.
Yeah, you
You
can
know what I'm
still do,
saying?
you can still do
Oh,
that.
here's a
Well, that's
million for
true.
Kathleen and a million for you could be throwing the money.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not? You're on your yacht with
There you go.
your
I just
girlfriend,
know that
soon to become your wife. And you have plenty of
that's
time to
right.
get to know it without any distractions. Yeah, there you go.
I know that whatever money that we make in our lifetime, and however many millions or billions that we have, we're never going to take it with us when we leave this planet.
That's right.
So you
What you
might as
can
well
do is leave
spread
a
the love.
legacy behind, but
Of course
again,
you can,
it's the
but I don't have any
story.
kids to leave it to.
Yeah, it's the story, and that's the kind of legacy I'm talking about. Is the story
Right.
itself is the legacy. So what you guys
Yeah,
got to
that's true.
realize that it's not the money, it's what you do with the money, right?
Exactly.
Right. And so and let me tell you, you don't stop being you when you're dead. Okay. You just wake up to what you've always been, and you just forgot that you were in a dream after all. That's all
You
physical
sound like you've been
reality
to the
is.
other side. You sound like my brother. You've
Yeah.
been to the other side, haven't you, Ace?
I've had glimpses. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember what happened before I came here. I had glimpses about, you know, uh,
Yeah.
before I was born. I remember being somewhere before I was born. So, and then I've studied it, what happens after you leave. And I've kind of let some of the dogma that I was taught growing up, I kind of let some of that go. Like,
Mhm.
doesn't apply
Yeah.
to what I'm finding out what other people are saying. They say they've been there and been back. Anyway, but I'm telling you guys that this Earth thing that we're doing is actually, huge purpose, right? It's almost like the center of everything. And if it wasn't for this, it'd be so boring. If we didn't have this going on over here in this physical place we call Earth. Um, And it's not easy to, not everybody who wants to be a part of Hollywood gets to be a part of Hollywood. Same thing about Earth, okay? Long line of people that want to be here doing what we're doing, but they didn't get accepted. They weren't allowed to come, right? They weren't ready for it, right? But those of us that came here made it. We're like the big shots. We are the A-listers, We're the big names. We've been the big names. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't a big name. And that's true for all of us, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, we did good today. I appreciate all the extra input from you guys. I'm glad you're dreamers. How can you make a dream come true if you don't first have a dream? What do you want? And it's okay to change your mind, Gregory, if you want to change from this to change. I do that all the time, and it's just cool. Life can be this amazing experience, and if you want to be a cool guy, you can be a cool guy if that's really what you want to be, that's or gal, I'm just talking about myself here, even though I know how it really, ends up showing up, something like that. But but it's been a great time here. It's me and my dad here,
Oh, I
he's
love that.
95 years old
Awesome.
right now, This was back when he was 89 and I brought him out to the Philippines, right? He I don't know, that might have been the first time he left the country. I'm trying to think. I don't think he's ever been on a cruise. Yeah, I think that was the first time he left the country. I brought him to the Philippines, the opposite side of the planet. So he had quite an experience coming over here. Spent about a month with us here in the house, right here in this house here.
That's awesome.
And it's so much more fun, guys, when you have a big budget to work with. Okay. So get that in there. Like you gotta have it, and don't let anybody stop you. And least of all, don't let yourself stop yourself. Okay. Because that's the biggest trick that is happening here in this plane is that it's called the shame and the blame game. Okay. So basically we're all come down here and 100% of us have to go through this idea that we suck. Okay. So first of all, you have to carry a belief that you're not so good. You're actually not valuable. You're kind of a devaluation, right? Massive devaluation. So come down here, and that's an important thing to overcome because that's not the truth. That's the opposite of actually what the truth is. But in order to make the experience down here interesting, so it's very entertaining for the others that are watching, right? We all have to deal with that aspect of the experience of coming to Earth. We have to carry a belief at some point that we suck. Okay, maybe some of you are willing to admit that, maybe not, right? But you have to get to the point where you go, I don't suck. I'm actually kind of cool. I want to see myself in a better way. But you'll run into aspects of that. It's like a freaking cactus, By the time you think you got rid of it, it's something else poked you. Oh, that's another aspect of that same thing where you're not really truly valuing yourself. And if there's anything that you're afraid of, there's a clue. Okay. Become fearless, right? Not stupid, but fearless. Okay. There's a difference. We're not saying to jump out of a plane without a parachute. Okay. But yes, you can jump out of a plane, but make sure you have a parachute. So anyway, I want you all to realize that you got something special here as a co-founder in pool funding in the early stages of the development of pool funding. The fact that you're here right now before hitting our price target of $500,000 in PFI, and $1 million for PFB and $2 million for PFS. And soon we're rolling out another coin, and that will, the price target on that will be 4 million, So, before we hit those particular price targets, all of you guys are going to be potentially the biggest whales ever in pool funding history. And because of the timing is everything. You're here now, right? You're in the early act of the movie. If you call pool funding its own movie, it's got its own production here, right? And you're in the early, you're the early characters, right? In the movie, right? So you guys get to be the big shots at the end of the movie, okay? But you got to choose it. You got to want it. You got to get it, okay? Got to be smart. And we got to trust each other. We got to work with each other. We got to support one another. We got to love one another. The more loving that we do, the better, okay? And if you want to be cool, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I see it. Be cool, We can all feel good about that. All right. So thank you all for coming to a very special edition of our co-founder training. Hope you got a lot out of it. I enjoyed delivering this special edition today. And we'll go ahead and do the traditional goodbye, everybody. See you next time. We'll see you on Monday, right? Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
See you next
everybody.
time.
Everybody, good meeting.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Nice to see.
Good meeting.
Bye.
Good night.